Good morning, everybody. Welcome to DCC Today. Today is Wednesday, and it's good to have you with us. We're going to start off with our photo of the day, which came from Julie Johnson. And this is a cool picture of a big hot air balloon landing, but it has a cool story behind it because this balloon landed in a yard in front of Julie's house the other morning. And so that'd be quite a way to have your morning coffee to see that coming down in the yard. Thanks for sharing that, Julie. Announcements, Sunday morning. I mentioned this on Monday. We are going to start making the service available early. It actually will be available by midnight on Saturday night. So if you're an early riser and you like to do church early, you can do church as early as you would like starting this Sunday. We'll be continuing our series through the book of James called Faith Has Feet. And then also the town hall meetings. I talked about these yesterday. We want to be sure that we hear from all of you about your thoughts as we move into the fall, questions, concerns, ideas. And so if you have not yet gotten signed up for a town hall meeting, look for that survey that came in email and fill it out and return it. Or if you didn't get it or you had trouble filling it out, just give the church office a phone call or an email, and they will help get you on the schedule because we really do want to hear from you. And then women's ministry, the survey that I told you about on Monday, ladies, they need that done this week. They want to have this all turned in by next Monday, the 3rd. And so please find that, fill it out. It'll give them some valuable information. Women's ministry, the Thursday Bible study, is going to be happening this fall. But they're working on some creative ways to be sure that both those that want to do it in person as well as those that want to do it online, that their needs are being met. So they really need to hear from you. So be sure you get that done. Again, if you didn't get the survey or you have trouble filling it out, contact the church office. My special guest host this week is none other than Mr. Wonderful. And Mr. Wonderful on Monday gave us some amazing ideas of things that we as men could take to heart and say to the ladies that we love. And I thought we would just give the mic over to Mr. Wonderful again today to see if he has a couple more ideas for us. Mr. Wonderful, what could we say that would warm the heart of the ladies we love?
You look so beautiful in the morning.
All right, you heard it here. Gentlemen, memorize this stuff. It's good. It's good. Okay, how about a devotional thought for today? Comes out of Proverbs chapter 10, verse 22. The blessing of the Lord brings wealth, and he adds no trouble to it. You know, I spent a lot of years in business, and I've watched people do a lot of things to try and get wealth. I've seen people cheat and lie and steal and backstab and shortchange. You name it, there are a lot of ways you can go about trying to get wealth. But Proverbs reminds us that if God blesses you, the kind of wealth that he brings and the way he brings it is a kind of wealth that doesn't add trouble to it. And it's a good check, I think, on all of our hearts when it comes to issues of money and trying to be successful, to rein ourselves in sometimes and say, what are the strategies that I'm going about to try and make a buck? Do they really honor the Lord? Do they really honor the people he's given me to love? Or am I getting my eyes set on the wrong thing? Because if I start chasing the wrong thing, the fact is, wealth can come with an awful lot of trouble. You probably have your own set of stories of people you've seen that have damaged families, they've damaged business partnerships, they've damaged the lives of their customers, their employees. They had wealth, but it was wealth that came with trouble. And Solomon reminds us that if you are pursuing wealth in the way that God would desire, which may not even be financial wealth, but it will be a kind of wealth that doesn't come with a whole bag of trouble. Okay, how about an interview? Jennifer, who do we have today?
Hello, everyone. Our guests today on DCC Today are Susan and Larry Weil. They are doing their second interview with us, kind of giving us an update. If you saw their first interview, they were in a holding pattern. And so today they're going to give us an update on what is going on in their lives and the exciting way God has answered their prayers about this holding pattern. So Susan and Larry, why don't you give us a little background in case people didn't see your first interview, and tell us where you were and what's going on now.
Thank you, Jennifer. Yes, these have been very interesting days, haven't they? And for us, we came home to America from Mozambique a year ago, July, and we weren't expecting to be here this long. In fact, we were supposed to be back in Mozambique by Easter time. However, COVID kind of stopped that process and put us into this holding pattern. And it's not that we haven't been doing anything. We have been quite busy, still working on different projects for the field in Mozambique. And so, but we've been waiting to see, will we be able to go back? And so this has been one of those prayerful times of just waiting on the Lord to see what he has in store. And I think Susan can go to the next level.
Okay, well, we were going to be, like Larry said, heading back in by Easter time. And so we thought, well, maybe just a month or two or whatever, but it became more and more evident that Mozambique was not going to be opening for travelers outside of the country. And one of the things that we have to be concerned about is Larry has a pacemaker, and so he's on some heart medication, and he needs to have access to his heart doctor, who is in South Africa. And it's easy enough for us to go across the border and do that. But right now, all the borders are closed for non-essential type visits and trips. Even if you could go into the border, through the border, you would have to have 2 weeks of quarantine in that country and then 2 weeks coming back. So it's kind of a bit of an issue there. And we just felt that needed to be open for us to even consider going back. And the team has been doing a lot of different things, ministering in different ways. One of them is making masks for the communities, and then giving out the Gospel of John in the language. They're finding out people who maybe don't read, and so they're able to give out some of those solar Bibles, which are a real help for the people. But they've been limited as well with their ministry. And the Christian Academy in Mozambique, CAM School, had to do online and kind of correspondent. They finished up the year doing that. They were able to finish the classes, and so that was a challenge for them as well. And the seminary was completely closed down because they didn't have the online capability. But things are, again, the country is closed for the month of July. There's no airplanes going in, and nothing going through to South Africa. And so we just felt like, Lord, we want to be doing something. So we had a few choices, and one was just, okay, we're going to retire early and move into our house here in Swim. Then another one was find some work here in Swim. Maybe we could do some things online for the mission, or we found some opportunities at headquarters. So I was able to apply for a position for administrative assistant for Dynamic Women. Now, this is the group that I went to India with. And was able to, I was able to minister to the women there and teach a course called Seed Sowing. And it's just really a neat program of helping women realize who they are in the Lord and how they can be witnessing and sharing their testimony in their own communities and bringing others to the Lord as well. And so this is all started by Dynamic Women. And there's some other programs as well that they do, but they needed to have an administrative assistant. So they said, okay, we'll consider you for this job, but what is Larry going to do?
So it wasn't that they didn't know what I could do. They had to figure out on paper what I can do and not be too much. So as far as I know, I have 3 jobs waiting.
Wow, just 3.
And so, we play juggle, as to juggling what those jobs will be. And so the first one is I'll have the opportunity to continue to be a consultant to our Mozambique team. And
Oh,
so
good.
I'll be working with our business office manager there, who is the one I trained before we left. And there's still some more training yet to do. She didn't learn how to do budgeting or some special reporting. And so I am there to help her through that process. And whatever other projects that the Mozambique field wants us to do, we're here to help with that. Susan and I both have a couple. One is we're responsible for planning the 25th anniversary celebration of One Mission Society in Mozambique, which is next year. And
Oh,
since
wow.
we've been there, the ones from the beginning, I guess it falls on us. And so that is scheduled for April of next year. And so we're praying that we have the opportunity to be able to go there early and finish the planning and be there for that celebration. And
I hope so, because that would be perfect. You
Yeah.
you need to be there for that.
Yeah, and it gives us an opportunity to close out a chapter there of packing our things and saying goodbyes to our team, our wonderful Mozambican brothers and sisters in Christ. And so we're hoping that will happen, but we're totally open as to what can happen.
Right.
And then job number 2 is that OMS, because we're all over the world, they realize they have this global structure, and they're trying to develop what they call global hubs of leadership. And so since I have 20-some years of finance on a field, they want me to be the director of finance for this new global hub. Now, it hasn't officially started yet, so when we arrive in Indiana, I'll be on the groundwork helping to develop that, and then I'll be responsible for the continent of Africa. So we're not quite sure what all that entails yet, because it's still on the drawing plans.
Right.
Number 3 just happened. We got a phone call as we were going to our church service just a week and a half ago, and the director of Every Community for Christ, which is our church planting program for One Mission Society, he asked if I would help to take over the financial part of 3/4 of the world. Does that sound like a lot?
Wow.
And if there's one guy doing it all right now, and it's just overwhelming. And so he's willing to keep Africa of all places, and I get
The rest
Europe,
of it.
Latin America, and Asia. And
Okay.
so as you can see, all of my jobs will be related to finance.
Finance, right. So it sounds like they have come up with a way to use both of your skill sets in really important and wonderful ways, which is the way God always works it out. So, well, tell me, as you guys get ready to move, you're going to be moving here very shortly to Indiana. Tell us, what can we do as a church to be praying for you? What specific needs are there for prayer for you?
Well, first, please pray for these final 2 weeks as we are now packing, and our departure date from Squim is the 17th. So that's not too far away.
Yeah.
And so we have a lot to accomplish yet. We have stuff we have to put in storage here. We're shipping some to Indiana. And of course, we're taking a few things in our car as we head across country. And so your prayers for that transition, just from leaving here and going, would be much appreciated. And then once we get to our headquarters in Indiana, which is in Greenwood, Indiana, there's a duplex waiting for us. And so it's right on campus, so the commute will be great. And it'll serve our needs really, really well. In fact, it has a spare bedroom. So those that are heading towards Indiana, you have a place to stay with us. So
Wonderful.
And I think just settling into a new state, new responsibilities, and just being just faithful to the Lord and fruitful in our new ministry opportunities.
Okay. Well, how about if, go ahead, Susan.
I just have a few for Mozambique as well.
Okay.
We still will be attached to that. But just pray for our team in Mozambique for health and safety for them, and new opportunities for ministry as they have to have certain restrictions, how they can minister to the people there. And then the seminary, they are hoping, I think they've been given the go-ahead to open. So I'm sure there's going to be some restrictions as well, and procedures that they need to follow. And then CAM, school will be trying to open up the end of July. So pray for the leadership team as they make decisions about how many kids are coming, and that there'd be enough students to come to cover the cost of running the school. So just appreciate your prayer for the work
Okay.
in Mozambique as well.
Great. Well, how about I'm going to close us in prayer today, since you guys have a lot on your plate, and I'd like to send you off with a prayer. Okay?
Thank
Thanks.
you.
All right. Oh, Father God, we just thank you so much for the way that you have worked in the Weil's lives, Susan and Larry. I just thank you for their willingness, their openness to be available to you. And I just am so thankful for the way that you've worked this out for them, made the path clear for them what to do next. And you're just so faithful, Father, and we are just so amazed by you. And Father, I just pray specifically as they start to get ready to travel to Indiana, Father, just give them travel mercies, that things will go smoothly, that they will get there easily, and that they'll be able to transition into life there, and that they'll find a church home and be able to find just new friends, and that they'll just be welcomed there with open arms, and that they'll be able to make it home. And Father, I also do pray for those in Mozambique that are still doing your work there. We just pray that as things start to try to open up the seminary and the school, that you will just help give them wisdom to know the best ways to do things safely, but mostly that people there will come to know you. And for those people that are leadership there, that you will just give them wisdom on the best ways to do things that keep people safe, but that bring them to you. And we just thank you for their willingness to still be there, and when it's difficult, and for all the work that they've done. And Father, I just pray blessings for the Weils as they leave us. We will miss them, but we know that you have bigger and better things for them to do there. And we just thank you for them. And I pray all this in your precious Son's name. Amen.
Amen.
Thank you guys for joining us today.
Thanks for joining us, everybody. I trust that you have a great week. We will see you here again on Friday, and until then, be blessed.